Grand Rising, Grand Rising. I woke up this morning and seen Donald Trump make another executive order, another chess move, a very good chess move, because, a lot of these agencies and companies do not know law, not one bit. They do not know the law of the land because they've got so used to abusing the laws that they got to a point where they don't even recognize the laws, because the laws that they thought was laws isn't even laws, and they're having a problem adjusting. But let me show you exactly, because my peoples, we understand what's going on, or the OGs understand what's going on. The YNs and the rest of the people, let me break down why things are happening in such a way and what's to come. Because what's to come is our inheritance. All of this is just to give back our inheritance, the American people, the true American people. That's what Trump was talking about. That's why he hit the 14th Amendment. Yo, shout out to Trump on that angle too, because I've been working on all this stuff too, and I didn't see that angle in that perception, in that vision. I didn't see that perspective, and that was a great perspective that he put on the table, because he's right. The 14th Amendment was not applied to the immigrants coming to this country. It was applied to my peoples. And I understand they keep talking about the slaves. They wasn't slaves. They was prisoners of war who were sold into slaves, because we was prisoners of war by a civilized tribe. That's why we got a treaty, because the 5 civilized tribe enslaved us, because during the Yemen War, while we was fighting the war, they went back to our camps and took our women and children. All right? When all the men died in war, and the men that survived, they went into slavery. And the women and children who wasn't even part of the war, they were now sold to the colonizers for commodity. And that's how they got into slavery. All right? But let me show you something. These are my notes. These are my paperwork. As you can see, the trust fund for trust funds, right? Now, everybody, this is the government trust fund code. So everybody, as Philippine, look at this. Everybody, unclaimed, see that? Everybody get their money from the government, right? Now look at this. Indian monies, proceeds of labors, agency, child support agency, any agency is coming off of this money right here. Schools. See that? That's why the Board of Education is being checked right now, or will be checked, because they indoctrinated us where we're Indians. So I wanted to show y'all that, to explain that these agencies, they get their money from our inheritance. All right? So child support, the child support agencies, they get their money from us, from our inheritance. That's how they get their capital to even come after us. All right? All these agencies you see out here, regardless if they for us or against us, they are getting their capital from that trust. Schools. See, that's why the Board of Education has to be investigated, has to be audited, because you got to imagine, for 50, almost 100 years, you know what I'm saying? School's been indoctrinating us into thinking that we're from somewhere entirely different, when we're actually from here. Like, from recently, my daughters go to school out here, right? And the school has sent me a letter asking for permission so they can go back into the lump sum of money so they could pay their teachers and everything like that. So then I went to the school and I asked them, I said, well, if you guys know this is Indian land, and you guys know that you need permission from the Indian, the people on the land to continue your business. So I asked them, why do you teach the children African culture, if you're on Indian land? How come my daughter doesn't come home knowing some of the Indian heroes or Indian stories or anything in that nature, but they know every freaking president? You know what I mean? They know every colonizer. They know all the, the founding fathers. They know them, but they don't know the tribes. They don't know about Indians. They don't understand that this land is Indian land. Just like when I go to California, that's Mexico. Shout out to my Mexicans out there. They showed me mad love. That's Mexico. I ain't going to argue with them. When they say that their land, listen, when you go out there, all the street names are in Mexican. It is in Spanish. When you go in the store, it's Spanish first, English second. In California, San Diego, California, LA, California, I can say, yes, that's their land. That's Mexico land. You understand what I'm saying? Just like out here, which if anybody wants me to, I'll go through the streets and show y'all how each of these streets are Indian named streets. You know what I'm saying? So put in the comments if you want me to do something like that. I'll go to in my neighborhood, not my neighborhood, but directly, but I'll go through the area and I'll show you these Indian named rivers, the Indian named streets, Indian named compounds, and all that other stuff. So car companies, all these companies get their capital from the American people's trust. That's figuratively, financially, literally, everything was based on trust. Trust of the mind, trust of the pockets, you know what I'm saying? And they abused it. They abused it, they raped it, they did it dirty. So shout out to Donald Trump for, coming up with that executive order. That was a very good chess move because, like I said, these companies, they don't know law. They don't recognize law like they should. And that's what people like us on the local level need to start checking these companies and start forcing them to actually abide by the laws of the land. And if they do not abide by the laws of the land, we need to make sure that they do not get business. Like now, we can go on, on their site and do the review, and you know how they got like a 4 something or a 5.0 or 3.5. If they don't abide by the laws of the land, we need to compound together, gather together, and actually start denouncing them as illegal, unlawful entities. As the American people, we can do that. We can actually do that. So if you go to a car lot and they ask you for a down payment, put it online, we all start flagging them. Flagging that thing because there's no law saying that you need to pay a down payment. You know what I'm saying? And I could go into more laws as far as, what these car companies and all these other companies are supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? A little bit in the future. But for right now, like I said, we can organize peacefully without violence simply by using the same amount of power that we have for other things. Get online, start putting me bad reviews on these companies that has unlawful, illegal practices. I don't care what field they're in. I did it to the 2 real estates. Do that. Start complaining to these companies, put it online. Their reviews, put a 1 star. Start 1 star in these companies. You know what I'm saying? Do not let them have the clout that they think they have. Take that away. We can take that away from them.